Eyes and Eyes. To all you great American dads out there, the mothers of your children, and of course, the ones who call you dad. That's what this is all about. Welcome to episode 4 of the Eyes and Eyes podcast. And remember, the meaning of the word eyes and eyes, I made it myself, is the process as well as the driven desire in which someone or something is improved with a direct intent and a dedicated purpose. So there is a value into these podcasts that summarizes the entire intent of why I do these podcasts. And as I stated in episode 1, I know not everybody's going to agree with this, and that's perfectly okay. And I would kind of like to start out with a recapping last episode. So last episode, I talked about the life pirates and how you need to protect yourself from these pirates. They don't come in the same form. They have different agendas and do different things to make your life a little bit less productive or non-productive at all. And you need to know these so that you can protect yourself. If you don't know what the hazard is, you cannot defend from what it is capable of doing to you. That was the word ignorance. If you don't know, you can't act appropriately. And so some of the pirates I did talk about was your time. Time is the most important thing you've got. You don't know how much you get. You only know how much you've had, and you know how much you've used wisely. You know how you've used unwisely. And the other thing you have is money. For most of us, that is a very limiting amount for what you can do, what you can purchase, where you can go. And when somebody takes that from you, they just took away all the ability for you to do more for you and those who are important to you. Okay, the next one is the energy pirates. And these are the things in life that consume your energy. Again, with your time and your money, you only have so much energy, and it comes in spurts, and sometimes you just drag. So know what the pirates are that steal your energy and learn how to allocate your energy, just like your money and time, into the proper places at the proper time to pursue your goal and be smart. I love that word. And of course, priorities. A lot of things are going to divert your priorities. In the last episode, I had the cat interrupt me, I had a phone call interrupt me, I had text messages interrupt me, and I was only recording for like 25 minutes. It's like, all these priorities, they're always grabbing at your time, they're grabbing at your money. They're trying to occupy you, possibly for the talents you do have, the information you have, or the emotion that you give others. So knowing all these things makes a big difference. And again, I have a cat crawling at my toes. However, this time, I came a little more prepared. I did not like last week with all the cat hair. You need to stay down there, huh? Okay, so as far as the goal process goes, this story is one I have heard. I do not know where I originally heard it. I do not know who originally told this story, but I really liked it. And it's about a young girl who lived along the coastline. And every day when the tide would go out, she would walk along the shoreline, the water line, and every now and then she'd pick up a random seashell and she would throw it back into the ocean. And then she'd take a few more steps and she'd see another one. She'd pick it up and throw it back into the ocean. She did this several times with several different seashells. And if you've ever seen the tide when it goes out in some of these areas, the seashore is just littered in starfish and seashells. So she would go along every single day and throw a couple back into the water. A neighbor was always out at that same time watching the tide go out and has always noticed this young girl walking along the beach, picking up a shell, throwing it back in the water. One day, this neighbor decided to go down and talk with this young girl. It's like, hey, I see you every day, and I notice that you occasionally pick up a seashell and you throw it back in the water. Why do you do that? And the girl responded, because I am saving it. And then the neighbor looks at all the other thousands of seashells on the seashore, tongue twister here. And says, but how do you expect to save them all? And the girl replies, I don't. And then the neighbor said, but how do you think this is making a difference? The young girl thought, looked down at her feet, bent down and picked up the next seashell that was close to her toes. She picked it up and looked at it really good. She took this one and threw it even further than normal. Looks at the neighbor and says, well, I made a difference to that one. And that is the whole point of Eyes and Eyes in the Goal process. I don't know who I'm going to help, but I know somebody needs it. And I'm glad to be there to help. And I'm hoping that the seashells that I may throw back and save will someday have the opportunity to do the same for someone else. There's the cat. Are you ruining my story? Want to sit up here with me? Let's see if I can get you to purr. You don't like the camera much, do you? Do you like the camera? Here's my pirate. Haha. Pet the cat with the cat hair remover. Alright. He didn't want to be on my lap anyway. He's funny that way. He'll sit there and meow at my... Oh, no. Of course. There we go. Lesson learned. You staring at me? Alright, I'm going to continue with what I'm doing. So, the girl at the seashore was doing a service to whoever or whichever one she could. And that brings us into the fact that there are two facets of happiness. And I talk about this in the goal process and Eyes and Eyes. And there is pleasure and there is joy. And at the beginning of the book, I talk about happy people and how there is a common thing that we all want happiness. We all go about it in a slightly different way, but there are two types of happiness, and it really matters which one you go after. The goal setters will typically go for what's called joy. And the whim riders, or the hedonistic people, a hedonist is a person who takes opportunities to have fun. I see nothing wrong with that. But the hedonistic personality will go for pleasure because it's whatever's at the moment, it's what's right there, and they will just go with the flow. And it's, sometimes those are the most enjoyable people to be around because at that moment, you're going to be laughing a lot. You're going to be, in tears because of all of the laughing. Your stomach is going to hurt because the hedonistic people know how to have fun and pleasure. So I am not knocking them whatsoever. But what is pleasure? Well, pleasure is fun. The downside of pleasure is that it has an expiration to it. It only is fun during that moment. It doesn't change your scenario. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't improve the things around you. However, pleasure is where your friendships usually begin. Because you realize that, hey, I can get along with this person. We learn how to ignore the realities of life long enough to have a laugh. That is good to the extent I need to do the golden means here real quick. Not in this episode, but that one's coming up. But when you have pleasure, you've got to follow the golden means. But once you leave that atmosphere or that, let's say you go to a movie for pleasure. Once it's over, that movie hasn't changed the reality or the duties or the priorities of your life. But it was a good reprieve to help you to relax, enjoy, and remember, hey, this is what life can offer. Yeah, the downside is, particularly with hedonistic individuals, is when they're having fun, they are fun. But when they are not having fun, it is an incredibly depressed personality, and it's hard to quite often believe that this person who is struggling so much is also the person who is the life of a party. So you've got to be very well aware of what kind of happiness are you going for. Like I said, pleasure is not a wrong thing. It's a great thing. We just got to keep it in moderation. And then there is joy. Joy is ultimate happiness in that it can change. Hi, cat. Why are you on my table? Oh, he doesn't like this at all. He knows he's in trouble. It's like he just got up. Don't worry, it's only filled with Nair. At least I think it would. That's why there's so much cat hair everywhere. But no, it's just water. It'd be funny if it had Nair in it. Spray the cat with Nair. I don't think I would even be happy with myself on that. I would feel so bad because he is a pretty cat because of the hair. All right, you funny feline. Okay, so get back to my topic. Another interruption, of course. Okay, joy is usually the destination. And whatever happens from where you are to the destination, well, that would be called the journey, of course. All the hardships through that journey are easily overlooked. They're easily overcome. They're surmountable. You can get past those and through those because you know that the destination is going to make you a better person at the end. It will change things. It will make a difference to you and the people around you. It will build your skill. When I first started playing the guitar, that fretboard kind of hurt the feet, especially with 12 strings. I love my 12 string. But yeah, just the callus, it hurt. But I knew that once I got to that point and my fingers strengthened up, I could be really, really good. And so I endured that. I went through the pain. I went through the sore fingers. Now I'm really happy with a lot of my skills. Can I improve? Always. But it built my character. Now I can say, hey, I can play a guitar. I can tell you what a C chord is. I can tell you what the D chord is. And I can play a bar chord. So anybody who knows guitars, at the beginning, those are the fun ones to start learning. And my cat is playing with more stuff. When you are aiming for joy, pleasures don't always exist. In fact, rarely do they exist. It is worth it to you when you know that the reward is at the end of the route. I just bought him new cat food. It's a different flavor. He really likes it, and he overate. Now he's got too much energy. He's playing with things he normally wouldn't. Focus on your efforts. Leave luck behind. Because happiness isn't a product of luck, but pleasures are. And there's a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. He says, "Diligence is the mother of good luck." And that goes back to the meaning of eyes nice, dedicated purpose, and a focus. Just a second. He's chewing on something he's not supposed to. A little bit of nair. His whole hair is gone. He did not like getting sprayed with that water bottle. So when you get a chance, go to usdads.org, watch or read or listen to the goal process. It's only a couple of hours long. Over on YouTube, you just go to the playlist, hit the first one, and sit back and enjoy. There's a lot of things in there that will teach you about pleasures and joys, how to make sure that you mix the two of them together at the proper levels, and that you are putting your diligence into making things better around you. And currently we still have the Judging Your Judges survey available. I am very interested in your comments. So while you're at usdads.org, make sure you click on the front page. There's a link to taking our survey about what do you know about judges. No right answers, no wrong answers. What do you know? What's your opinion of? What's your thoughts of? And just want to see how close that is to what it really should be or what it is. Make sure, we are in an election season this year. Make sure you are registered to vote. I got mine. Came in the mail. And it has my name on the other side. So make sure you're prepared to vote. And I encourage you to research every candidate. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle they are on or not an aisle at all, which, I don't know about you, but I kind of say this jokingly, but I belong to the unrepresented party. I am not finding a widespread of values and ethics and morals within one party that says, hey, that fits me as an American father, or an American family. I do not see those. I kind of have to look at every single candidate individually, regardless of party line. I don't know why they call it a party, because it's not fun and there's never cake. Make sure you know where each one of your candidates stands. Eventually, it is in the agenda of US Dads to start ranking our politicians, our judges, legislators, people who are in the power of influence, so that we can say, hey, this one is following a code of ethics, and this one, well, yeah, that one needs to be, sent that way. And the only way we can start really doing that is if we get good people out there using their First Amendment, and voting is the initial voice that you can speak, and you can use it silently, but it doesn't say a lot about your First Amendment and the Constitution. So please get out there, register in your state, be ready to vote. We want to make a great family of US Dads. So while you're there at usdads.org, create an account, sign up for the email list. We want to keep in contact with you. There may be something you could help us with, or something we may be able to help you with. That is the whole intent here. As well, all of this takes money. We have a lot of unveiled plans right now. Actually, it's veiled plans for a lot of activity that we want to do with US Dads that will help make a difference. That's kind of like the seashell story. I wish that wasn't such a hard word to say in the one I'm recording. People keep saying one person can't make a difference, and I thoroughly do disagree. But when you do get individuals put together, differences do happen. And we do have a lot of programs that are still in the works. We will need to help finance some of those things to get the tools needed to push forward lobbying efforts. US Dads wants to get a Father's Lobby chapter in every single state. Every state is different. I know there's good fathers and families out there that would be willing to participate in this. And if you are one of them, please get in contact with us. Everything you can do is a big help. So in closing, let me know if you have any questions, concerns, complaints, comments. I'll leave them down below. Or again, there's a contact page on usdads.org. Remember, live with a dedicated purpose. Eyes and Eyes your life. Believe greatly, achieve greatly. What are you doing, cat? Are you being a nuisance? Here, let's... You run away. I'll call that the Nair bottle now.